Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome along to the Racing Post football postcast. We're tackling the New Year's Eve fixtures on Sunday evening. Adrian Croak from Paddy Power joins us on the line. I'm Dave Clark. We've also got Mark Langdon and Henry Hardwick from the Racing Post. First up, New Year's Eve, Crystal Palace. Almost impossible task of facing Manchester City. Midday, that one, Adrian. What are the prices and how many will Manchester City win by?
Yeah, so currently Palace here are 9-1, the draw is 92, and City are 1-4. At some stage City have been going off too short a price, but I don't know when I'd be risking laying them. They've just been absolutely phenomenal. They did only score once against Newcastle last night, but that was more Newcastle style of play. I'd expect Palace to try and get back into the game if they do concede. So probably a 2 or 3-0 win to Man City here.
Okay, interesting. Mark, as big a fan as I am of Palace at the moment, I do think they're doing some good stuff. Or playing some good stuff, surely they're not going to be able to hold off the citizens.
And the problem they've got is, of course, they're playing on the Thursday. We're speaking before the game against Arsenal, and I'm assuming London derby, big game, more chance of winning. They're going to put a lot into that encounter,
leave a bit on the pitch,
then to come straight back out, for a noon kick-off on Sunday is going to be difficult, I think, for Roy Hodgson's side. I mean, Hodgson is somebody throughout the years who's been noted as a coach that can get a team to defend, very well and organised and frustrate.
They're going to need to. Yeah.
They will need to. But that kind of pattern of play, boring kind of training ground regime is what he's become famous or infamous, for, depending on your view on it. I was looking here. I was looking at Man City to win by 1 goal in the winning margin. I mean, 6 of their last 9 wins have been by exactly 1 goal, and even away from home, Huddersfield was 1 goal, West Brom was 1 goal, Bournemouth was 1 goal. A couple of them were earlier on in the campaign, but I mean, they seem happy, Pep Guardiola's team, to just manage the game situation. And if teams don't come out and attack them, if they do want to save face, they're sort of quite confident in that they can just keep the ball and run down the clock. And if they have to win 1-0, then so be it. So I mean, it's not a game that I'd be lumping on, that's for sure. But maybe Man City to win by 1 goal may be a way to go.
Yeah, what price is that, Adrian? Manchester City to win by
11-4 here for Man City to win by just 1 goal.
Seems a fair price. I mean, Henry, you tend to forget about the comfortable wins and remember the dismantling of sides that Guardiola's team are doing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one to weigh. Obviously, we're speaking before the Arsenal game, so Palace's approach could alter depending on the result in that one. But I like second half to be the highest scoring in this game. I mean, either way, regardless of the result of Palace against Arsenal, playing against Arsenal is going to take a lot out of Palace. They're asking to back up only a few days later. They've got a small squad. There's unlikely to be too much rotation in there. There's Hodgson's limited with his resources, so I just think maybe they'll tire towards the second half and City can come on. I mean, the one glimmer of hope you give to Palace is obviously Mendy and Stones are out and Company went off and Delph is possibly out. So, and for all that Newcastle didn't, do anything really against City. They did have a couple of chances to, nick a draw at the end. So, you could give it a little bit of help. But yeah, second half to be the highest scoring for me.
They're ruining the Premier League, aren't they, Man City? They've ruined the title race. Yeah. They're going off at 4s on in all these live matches. It's becoming sort of Barcelona, Real Madrid-esque, Bayern Munich. It's just the way it's going.
Just quickly, Adrian, what sort of specials have you got? Sort of goals totals, points totals? You got all that on the Paddy Power website?
At the moment, the most popular special we're probably laying is Man City to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. I remember before the last round of games it was 10-3. I'll try and dig it out to see where it's still sitting, but it's definitely the most popular request from any customers coming on looking for a price is Man City unbeaten for the remainder of the season.
Is that a runner quickly, Mark? I'll go unbeaten.
Well,
it's a big ask.
It's a run. I just feel that they're probably, it's not the number one target. Their number one target is going to be to sweep up as many trophies as possible. So, if the league's done and dusted by March, for instance, or, it's almost done and dusted now in December, let's say they're in the League Cup final, would Guardiola maybe rest a couple of players for a league game before that? Or does he, FA Cup quarter-final time, does he start, rotating in the Premier League, Champions League semi-finals? And, I mean, they've rode their luck a couple of times in terms of when he has made wholesale changes. They've needed pens to beat Wolves and Leicester in the League Cup. So it's not a target, I don't think. I mean, if they get it, well played to them, but I wouldn't be backing it at these sort of prices, no.
Well, the juice has gone, I'm sure. It was a big price
No,
at
it's
the
also
start of the season.
The motivation. If you've got like a massive Champions League two-legged affair, and then you've got a Premier League game in between, which you've already got the league sewn up. Regardless of what team he picks, how motivated are those players going to be for that game?
And
they've got a big one.
the other, he didn't do it with Barcelona nor Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So, and his Bayern Munich team used to tail off quite a lot when they got the league won. So, it's difficult. I think the way he demands so much of the players. I think that the easing off factor certainly would be a concern. If you're on it at 40-1 or whatever, or 50-1, then you've got a lovely bet. I don't think you don't want to be betting it at 3-1, 100-30 or anything like that. I don't think there's got to be better ways to get with City, I would have thought.
Indeed. Adrian, did you dig that price out?
Yeah, it's still 10 to 3 here.
Okay. Right,
hasn't shortened up.
I think neither Mark or Henry will be steaming in anyway, so that price will last. Right, let's move on then. It's the Baggies and the Gooners, 4:30 New Year's Eve. Adrian, can you give us a Paddy Power show for that one and your own views?
Yeah, so we've got West Brom here 4-1. The draw is 14-5, and Arsenal is 4-6. I'll be keeping Arsenal out of my weekend ACCAs here. If I'm taking that, and I'm probably going to take a small kind of throwaway on West Brom at 4-1. They could nick an Arsenal side. It's of course pretty dependent on how Arsenal perform tonight and see how they do. But at the moment, 4-6 seems a bit short.
Well, I'd rather back them at the Hawthorns and Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, if all goes to plan, Arsenal get turned over at Selhurst Park, drift a little bit for the game at West Brom, and then I'd be looking to back them. West Brom, they're winless since August. It's a long old time to go without a success. They had most of the game against Everton. And there was a bit of money for them to beat Everton. I don't know if that was more negativity towards the Toffees, really. There's been no kind of managerial bounce for Alan Pardew. Had his run-ins with Arsene Wenger down the years. I'm sure he'll be looking to upset Arsenal. But I think I'd rather back Arsenal. Not an easy game to call before this Crystal Palace game for Arsenal. Yeah. But I think if the Arsenal price holds up or they drift a little bit, I think I'd rather back them than West Brom. So I'll go for a tentative away win.
I don't really see they've got anything up front to cause Arsenal problems. Chadley's definitely out, and Rondon went off against Everton. So perhaps the only two real threats they've got there are going to be missing. Then you're looking at likes of Robson Kanu, Jay Rodriguez. I can see, where the West Brom angle, set pieces, stuff called Arsenal problems, but I just really think they're lacking that quality.
It's almost like they need to parachute Tony Pulis back in for one game. He quite like playing Arsenal at home, doesn't he? Yeah. So maybe it's the one game they needed TP back in.
Yeah,
quite like that anyway. We'll have a look. I'll keep an eye on the Palace Arsenal game, and then maybe hope for an Arsenal drift there. Right, thank the lads in the studio for their pearls of betting wisdom, and also Adrian Croak on the line from our friends at Paddy Power. If you do enjoy these postcasts, make sure you do rate, review and subscribe on iTunes. And we wish you a Happy New Year.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week and get a £10 free bet the next week. Paddy Power, you beauty! Max £10 bonus per person per week. Excludes shop bets. Selected odds, conditions and exclusions.